What does restore the feeling mean?
I'm gonna ask them what they feel about it.
Well, I'm asking you.
I don't say it no more.
Would you consider yourself a wild boy?
I miss coming out to Judas and pretending like the pop was for me. It's one of the best things AEW will ever do.
Yo, what's good? It's another episode of Eats with Zay. We are in paradise right now, would you say? Right now, we're doing a little something different. Right now, I got breakfast made by your boy. We got avocado toast, bacon, eggs. Let me know if y'all would, let me know if y'all would let me cook for y'all. But I don't cook for free though. What you got?
I got a bagel with some yogurt.
See, we trying to eat healthy out here, man. We trying to eat healthy. All right, DG, my best friend. Be surprised how we didn't get this video out before. What's up? Tell me how's life. Talk to the people.
Our bagel stuff in my throat. Man, life's good. I can't complain. Every day is a blessing. It's amazing.
Good. How does it feel to be TNT Champion? Still TNT Champion.
It feels good. I feel like, when you're TNT Champion, you're supposed to be the face of the network. You're supposed to be held in high regard in terms of AEW, and I feel like I've been doing my best to bring the title back to its former prestige. And I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job at it.
Would you say you restored the feeling?
It's a work in progress still.
Okay. What does restore the feeling mean? Now, people who don't know, you always say restore the feeling. There's a lot of people who said it too after you. I told you to trademark that shit. But how do you feel about?
You can go ask them.
Huh?
You can go ask them what they feel about it.
Well, I'm asking you.
I don't say it no more.
Well, I'm asking you.
Well, but it's not my catchphrase no more.
No, but when you said it, what did it mean to restore the feeling?
Go ask everyone else that took it from me. Go ask them.
Well, we're gonna skip that question. Talk to me about the dance. How did the dance start? Thoughts on the dance? Did it elevate your career? Talk to me.
I kind of started as a joke. I was working with Jericho. I was just kind of trying to throw stuff at the wall, seeing what happened. And Jericho really gave me the confidence to not be afraid to try new things and maybe fail.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with the vlog, it was something that we would do on the vlog very often.
True.
And I just decided, when I tried in the ring, I just kept trying it, and the crowd really got behind it.
Yeah.
Here we are. What year did it start? Was that 22? 23?
Yeah, I think 22. No, probably 23 actually. How was it working with Chris Jericho? Like, what did Chris Jericho do for you? How's it
like I said, I think the biggest thing working with Jericho is just he gave me the confidence to try new things and not be afraid to fail.
What's the biggest lesson you learned from working with Chris Jericho?
That.
Just doing that, like just trying things out. Because I feel like the way you were when you started AEW, that's a complete different person after you finish your stuff with Jericho.
I wouldn't agree with that. I mean, I think it's more or less the same.
So, as your friend, I feel like when you first started, you was a very serious wrestler. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then you got at your comfort zone. There comes a dance. There comes all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference is I do the dance, really. Of course, I've gotten better, and the crowd has gotten behind me more, but that just comes naturally with being on TV for the past 3-4 years.
Okay.
I don't think like the mindset of how I do things is completely overhauled or anything like that.
Sure. Who's your top 3 favorite wrestlers?
Definitely Bryan. Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Maybe Tanahashi or something like that.
I was working with Bryan. You had crazy ass matches.
Yeah, I mean, working with Bryan was great. I think me and him, we obviously have a complicated relationship.
Yeah.
But he's somebody that I look up to a lot, and I'm really grateful that I got to spend the time that I did with him.
Did you wish you joined the BCC than the Jericho Appreciation Society?
I don't know. Who's to say? I don't know what my life would be like now if I joined the BCC.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to think about that.
That's true. That's very true. Very true. I know you. Not a lot of people do know the side that I know of Daniel Garcia.
I'm mysterious.
Yeah, you mysterious as shit. Would you consider yourself a wild boy?
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
You sure about that? You don't be doing stuff like no wild shit?
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying because I've been out with you a couple times. A lot of times, actually. And I just want to know your thought process. I don't think I ever asked you this question, so I'm gonna ask it to you on camera. Like, do you consider yourself a wild boy?
No.
Because I don't see you do some wild stuff before.
I don't think I've ever done anything that wild, anything too out of the ordinary. Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Or what?
I really don't want to say it. That's why I left it at that question, you know what I mean?
But I'm really trying to think of anything that I did that was that wild. I really can't think of anything.
Well, if you're being honest.
So you were talking about?
Like, I'm just saying, like, wild stuff. Like, you don't think that's wild?
I mean, you do stuff like that too, though.
Well, no. Next question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I don't know.
Never thought about that?
I mean, yeah, but I don't think it's like, who's to say? Like, everything is so up in the air. I don't know where I would see myself in 5
Or where would you
years.
like to see yourself? Career-wise, life-wise?
Retired, probably. I'm playing. Not 5 years. In 5 years, it's a hard question. I really don't know.
It's a hard question, right?
Yeah.
I tend to get stuck in that question too.
Probably still wrestling. Probably coming to I'll be what, 31 in 5? I'll only be 31 in 5 years. 31, 32. It's still pretty young
Yeah.
in terms of wrestling.
Yeah.
Hopefully by then I'll be a, top guy in the industry, main event pay-per-views, doing big shows, being the reason why people come to shows, traveling the world. I'd love to travel the world. I'd love to help put AEW in a position where we can do like international stuff. We're in Puerto Rico and we got
noticed a lot.
We got showed mad love.
We got
in
noticed a
Puerto
lot. By the way.
Rico.
I'm just saying.
Like everywhere we went, like a local recognized us. So I know it'd be great to help AEW grow and to be a reason why AEW does grow. I think that would be a good like professional goal for me in 5 years.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, speaking of Puerto Rico, you love Bad Bunny. Everybody knows he loves Bad Bunny. How has Bad Bunny influenced your wrestling style?
I don't know if he influenced my wrestling style.
I mean, when I say wrestling style, I mean like, you. Just how has Bad Bunny influenced you? Because if you look at Titantron, it's very similar to Bad Bunny's concerts, and if you know.
I just like I like his aesthetic. I like his branding. He brands himself very well, and he has like very bold colors, very bold like artistic choices.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is something that I've always struggled with in wrestling. You say I'm different now than I was 5 years ago, or 4 years ago when I first got to AEW, and I think that is something that I have worked on a lot, like my look, my branding, stuff like that. I feel like for a while, I always just wanted like the first thing that people to notice about me to be my wrestling. So I'd wear like very simplistic gear. Like I almost turned myself into like a young lion. I would wear like black gear, pretty basic moveset, basic clothing, basic everything, basic hair, because I just wanted everyone to notice my wrestling first and everything else can come after. But I feel like, like now I love the colors, I love the artistic side of it, and I just love presenting myself like a package.
With that being said, social media, there's a lot of critics. How do you feel about critics saying you're bland, no charisma? How do you take that?
I think it's for some, I wouldn't say I've ever been bland. I would say I've presented myself in different ways. And people in wrestling tend to think if you don't talk like The Rock, that you have no personality, you know what I mean? But I get the argument at first, when I first got to AEW, just because people didn't know me very well, and I really couldn't show different sides of myself. But I think anybody who really watches wrestling and is being like intellectually honest with themselves in terms of wrestling, I think it's crazy to just say I'm bland and have no character.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do you want me to be? Like a mailman? It's like, what is Shawn Michaels' character? What is Triple H's character? Like, what are these people's characters? People have character traits. It doesn't mean you have to like be a crazy over the top something. And I have character traits. Like I have storylines that I've been developing like by myself, on myself, over the past years of AEW, like a real character arc. And anybody who pays attention knows that. And like I said, if you just take stuff at surface level and look at me and say, oh, you're bland, you're this, you're that, I just don't think you're being honest.
Sure. So how do you feel when you see those comments? How do you feel when you see those comments? How does it make you feel?
I
Does
mean,
it-
I
does it
don't
get-
see
does it
him
get to you?
anymore. I deleted Twitter.
Okay. Why'd you delete Twitter?
I just think it was bad for me. I was probably on Twitter every day from when I was like 14, 15 years old. So I was on Twitter probably every day for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I just thought it wasn't conducive to stuff I wanted to be thinking, and it wasn't something that was aligning with my life at the moment, so I deactivated it.
So when you saw those comments, like, how did it make you feel?
I mean, people don't want to see comments talking bad about them. I don't think that we were made to be able to see what people think about us.
Sure.
That many people think about us at one time. It's already weird enough that we're performing in front of thousands of people and they're judging us, let alone, and it's a good, I'm not saying it in a bad way, like, oh, I don't want to be judged. Like, we're wrestlers, we're on public platforms, like, we should be judged, especially if we're people that are trying to entertain people. Like, we should take judgment and we should take criticism, and I do, no matter how much I disagree with it sometimes. But yeah, I think, sometimes the online audience can be a lot different from the in-person audience, and I just know every time I go out, I get a great reaction. I know the crowd's chanting for me. I know people are wearing my t-shirts, making signs in the crowd, and so once you see stuff like that, it's really hard to care what some people on the internet say about you, I guess.
Yeah, and that's like, I feel like that's the misconception a lot of people got. Like, I feel like social media is real to an extent. You know what I mean?
It is. I hate when people are like, "Oh, social media isn't real." It's like, well, it is. It is a real part.
It definitely
it is a real part of our fan base that
Yeah.
that watches and cares deeply about what we do. So I don't think you should just completely disregard what they say, but to make what they say your 100% validation in everything that you do, I think would be foolish.
No, for sure. Because I feel like they will say something like there'll be a whole bunch of negative comments that be on social media. But when you go see them live, you know what I mean? You good? When you go see them live, it's a whole completely different story. What's your top 3 matches that you had in AEW? Or in general?
That's tough. I feel like historically, I think that my match with Yuta, the hour-long match at the IWTV event, IWTV 100, I think that is a historically important match, not just for my career, but for indie wrestling. And AEW, I think, too. I think in the next 15 years, I think that match will only become more and more important. So I think that one has to be in there for, like, historic purposes. Maybe my match with Moxley, main event in the first time AEW was at the Forum in LA. I don't know, my Anarchy in the Arena, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I think that's another really historically. I mean, these are all. I think but that one is a really important match. It was the first time ever. I think we set the standard for, like, nobody knew what Anarchy in the Arena was. Like, it was just a name before we did it, and we, like, brought an identity to what that match.
Yeah, let's go more in depth with the Anarchy in the Arena. Like, how did it come about? How was it putting it together?
I think AEW was doing a lot of stadium stampedes, or they did like 1 or 2 stadium stampedes at the time.
Yeah.
And it was BCC and Eddie and Ortiz and Santana against JAS, and we weren't in a stadium.
Yeah.
So we need something that is a alliteration with arena, I guess, Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what that match was going to be going into it, and it just became, I think, like a legendary match that I think a lot of people have tried to replicate after this.
Yeah. No, it definitely was a legendary match. Like, especially when y'all was fighting and Moxie had the Wild Things theme song.
Yeah.
And then,
I think we got in so much trouble from T-Mobile Arena, all bleeding all over the sponsors and bleeding in the concession stands, bleeding in the crowd. I don't think anybody was too happy about that stuff, but we were the first people to do it, so it's like nobody could really tell us no.
But was it worth it?
Yeah.
I think so too. I think it was worth it. That moment, it's
a legendary match.
It's a legendary match. I remember watching it. I was in a suite at the time. I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, this seems so much fun. Because remember when the song kept on playing and playing and playing and playing and playing.
It was one of the best matches. I think it's one of the best things AEW will ever do.
For sure.
I mean,
For sure. Matches like that, I feel like really define what AEW is. We're just different, an alternative to wrestling.
And it was the first thing. It was the first time ever.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just a name before we did it. It was
Yeah.
just a cool little name, cool little catchphrase, but we, injected life and brought Anarchy in the Arena to life.
Do you miss Chris Jericho?
I mean, I see him every week.
I mean, like being with him though.
I miss coming out to Judas and pretending like the pop was for me.
I do too, bro. When the Hardys came out, bro, I was dead ass still like that's my pop. Like I don't care what you told me, that
I'd
was
be
my
pretending
pop.
like it was my pop. Yeah. I miss doing that.
You miss Bryan?
It's complicated.
It's complicated. Last time you talked to Bryan,
2 months ago.
how's he doing?
Ask Bryan.
I don't got his number. He don't fuck with me.
True, you don't. Remember when he told me I should stop being friends with you?
But you know what? I feel like after that moment, like we became cool.
You're welcome.
Yeah, me and Bryan cool now. Alright, yo, we about to go to the beach. I hope y'all enjoy it. You got anything else?
Of course, right before we're about to go to the beach, it starts getting a little cloudy.
My bad. You got anything you want to say to my peoples out there?
You know, keep supporting. I remember when we were struggling. Well, not we, but you were struggling to get to 10K,
Yeah.
and we got it. And now you're out of the past 20K.
We passed 20K. I'm trying to get to 50K by the end of the year. So
50K by the end of the year. Let's pass 50K by the end
let's
of
pass
the year.
50K. Like I said, we on a roll. We on a train that's never gonna stop. And
I heard that before though.
You're right. But
So you got to be accountable this time.
I'm being accountable. I got a whole new camera. You know what I mean? We doing it. We doing it. And I'm serious about this.
You guys
shit.
believe him?
I hope so. I do have a tendency to lack though. I'm very inconsistent.
I know.
And that's one of my things that I want to work on this year. Being very consistent. I think I'm doing a pretty good job, honestly. But with that being said, we about to go to the beach, get more tan, get more black, and get more tan, more black. Well, like I get more black. You can't get black. I get more black, and we're gonna enjoy some pina coladas. So
Retweet if you're against racism.
I'm gonna chat with y'all later. Love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know who else you want on this Eats with Zay. So
My.
peace.
We haven't done that in a minute.
We have it.
Yeah.